Hi there, working homeschool moms. This is Charlotte from Charlotte Jones 24/7 and My Little Homeschool. And this is episode number 87 of the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. And today I'm going to be tackling the concept of falling behind in homeschool. I know it's something that a lot of working homeschool moms worry about. I've been there. I know what it feels like. This feeling that you're not doing what you're meant to be doing, that you're not doing what is considered standard or normal. So today I'm going to be tackling that issue, and I'm going to give you 3 tips to overcome the feeling of falling behind in your homeschool. But before we get to the episode, I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It just means that more working homeschool moms can find it, and in that way we can build this beautiful working homeschool mom community together. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode. Hi there, and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm your host, and I am a podcaster, a speaker, a writer, and a homeschooling coach, specifically for working homeschool moms. I've been homeschooling my neurodivergent twin boys since 2017, and I've been a working homeschool mom since 2017. So I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom. I cover things like time management, homeschooling, mindset, and lots of other juicy topics like that. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. And I also welcome experts who can help you on your working homeschool mom journey. I have lots of ways to support you, so be sure to check them out in the show notes. You can download my time audit as your first step to managing your time better. I have a Facebook group for working homeschool moms that you can join as well. And be sure to sign up to my newsletter for weekly updates. And if you need additional support, you can join the WHM Collective, which is a supportive community of working homeschool moms where we delve deeper into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom. Or if you need one-to-one support, be sure to book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here, and I know you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Are you looking for a new math curriculum? Well, I'm thrilled to introduce our favorite math curriculum to you. CTC Math specializes in providing online video tutorials that take a multi-sensory approach to learning. Favorably reviewed in Kathy Duffy's 102 Top Picks and the Old Schoolhouse Crew review, the lessons are short and concise to help your children break down concepts and appreciate math in a whole new way. The lessons are taught the traditional way and not to a test. Each one of the video tutorials is taught by an internationally acclaimed teacher, Pat Murray, who is renowned for teaching math concepts in a simple, easy-to-understand way and in only a few minutes at a time. Using a multi-sensory approach means having the combination of effective graphics and animation synchronized with the voice of a friendly teacher together with a practical assessment. This 3-pronged attack makes learning so much easier and more effective. Even students who struggled with math are getting fantastic results, and ones who were doing okay before are now doing brilliantly. Visit ctcmath.com today to start your free trial. CTC Maths is generously offering my listeners an amazing special. Go to www.ctcmath.com/MLH to get a half-price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. So the topic I'm covering today is something that I know a lot of homeschoolers struggle with, and that is the idea of falling behind in homeschool. So in this episode, I'm going to give you 3 tips to get back on track. So feeling like you're falling behind in homeschool is no fun. As humans, we're programmed to move forward, to compete, and to feel like we must be ahead of the game. And I also think the reason why it feels so crummy is because homeschooling comes with so many expectations from ourselves and from others. We've taken on this huge responsibility, so we better start doing it perfectly and we better start doing it right away, or else we're failures. If you know me, then you know that I'm not someone who's going to tell you to work harder and push more to get back on track. Yes, those episodes and those blog posts are out there. I've read them, and it really just makes me feel sad about the message that they're spreading. But let's rather look at this in a more positive way. Let's rather investigate where these feelings come from. And I think you're going to have a better chance of moving forward from that point, and it will be much better for your homeschooling as a whole. So let's start with tip number one, and that's reframing what falling behind actually means. So the concept of falling behind means that obviously there's something you're trying to keep up with. And this idea 100% comes from public school. And I think it comes from society in general, because I think school is a reflection of society. And that's why these two things kind of build up this feeling of falling behind. From a young age, kids are expected to hit milestones when it comes to sitting up, crawling, walking, and so on. And then at school, they're expected to be able to read and write and do math and all these other things in certain grades. And then once that's done, there's college and getting married and having kids and buying a house in a particular order that is considered normal. You get the idea. But the world is changing, right? I think it's hard to deny the fact. Education and learning must be a part of this, or they will be a part of this, because, like I said, public school is a reflection of society. And if society is changing, then education and learning also have to change. So I think this means we need to reframe what falling behind means. Otherwise, we're missing the whole point of opting out of the regular system, the public school system. Obviously, you took your kids out of school for a reason. So let's reframe falling behind in homeschool terms. So when you're worrying about your kiddo falling behind, reframe it by thinking about the ways that your child is thriving in homeschool. You could notice that they're actually ahead in certain areas, or that they're much more relaxed and confident and joyful. And I mean, this is a huge step for somebody who has had a bad time at public school. I know that was for my kids, when every single day going to school was an incredibly traumatic experience. Taking them out just made them more relaxed. And it was wonderful just from that perspective. And if you feel like your child has not performed in a very particular task, or let's say there's a test that they need to do, maybe reframe by looking at the big picture. Find the good in the whole homeschooling experience. You're probably building strong bonds with your child. You're having the wonderful opportunity to see them grow up first. These, I believe, are so much more important than one task or one test or even one particular subject. So I know it's not easy to ignore pressure from the world around you. I totally get it. But reframing is a good way to start. And journaling about your homeschooling experience is a wonderful way for self-care, as I've said many times, and also for reframing. You can take those negative thoughts and turn them into wins and charms. It's a really good practice to do in your life as well, I believe. The WHM Collective is a monthly membership on Patreon that was created with you in mind, working homeschool mom. If you're just starting out on your journey, or if you're finding it difficult to find your groove, then the WHM Collective is definitely the membership for you. Each month, we delve into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom, such as homeschooling, schedules, time management, and lots of other juicy topics. I know how busy life is for you, working homeschool mom, and I know how complicated life is too. So that's why this membership is super simple. Each month, there's one live workshop, one ebook, and one session of office hours where you can have your questions answered in real time. In addition, you'll get one free coaching session per membership and an added bonus of having access to all past content, which you can work through in your own time. So if you're feeling like you need some additional support as a working homeschool mom, then I really hope that you will consider joining the WHM Collective, because I know that it will help you so much to find clarity and to move forward in your working homeschool mom life. So my next tip is to do deschooling. And I know I carry on about deschooling a lot, but it's just such an incredible tool. So falling behind in homeschool can also be an indicator of a need to deschool. So I always recommend deschooling when you start out homeschooling, but it's also a great tool for when you're getting stuck within your or through your homeschooling experience as well. If your kids are resisting and reluctant to learn, then maybe you need to rethink the way you're teaching them. Is the curriculum right for them? Are they being engaged in a way that suits their learning styles? And this can get down to really practical things like, are they learning at the right time of the day? Are they eating enough food? Do they need to move when they're learning? All these kind of considerations, that is part of deschooling. And it's really worth it to take the time to reflect and regroup. Even though it might feel like you're missing out on valuable learning time, you will in fact gain time when your kid is learning in a way that really works for them. And let's not forget, learning is a lifelong experience. It doesn't end when they're 18 or when they've reached the end of their schooling. Let me tell you what that looked like for us. So we struggled for years to find a math program that worked for us. And the boys were super resistant and reluctant. But once we found an online math curriculum that worked for us, so it was online, which they liked. It was engaging, but not too distracting. Once we found this program, the kids flew ahead. And just to illustrate what I mean, we don't ascribe to grades as such, but I know it's an easy way to reference. But we did 2 grades in 1 year, and it was easy, and the kids enjoyed it. So here are 3 steps you can take to de-school. So the first step is to allow your kids to decompress and relax. Give them the opportunity to do what they like, to sleep late, to have fun with friends, to do their hobbies, all the kind of things that they enjoy. Once they have relaxed enough, now you can start introducing learning opportunities and observe what they enjoy doing. So this is the research phase where you can discover what lights them up. Doesn't have to be structured learning. It could be giving them experiences. It could be offering them lots of books, strewing, lots of interesting things like that. You're just researching what kind of way they like to learn, what they like to learn, and what really engages them. And then when your kids are ready, and I'm a firm believer that your kids will let you know, then you can start slowly introducing or reintroducing more structured learning based on what you've discovered. And be sure to be open to tweaking and adjusting as much as needed. This is an ongoing process. And like I said, once your kids have de-schooled properly, they will fly. And you could find that they are ahead in terms of what is considered normal, because that's actually the other side of the standards of schooling. The standards might actually be keeping them back, but when you take those standards away, they'll be able to soar in whatever way suits them, in whatever way works for them. And then my third tip is to think about year-round homeschooling. This is a practical step that you can do to keep your kid from falling behind in homeschool. You know, I talk a lot about time management and schedules and managing your time effectively. This is one of my easiest go-tos for having more time to homeschool and for managing your schedule in an effective way as a working homeschool mom. So I know year-round sounds a lot. You're like, oh, what about holidays or what about vacations? But it really helps so much to alleviate the day-to-day pressures of homeschooling. We've been doing it for years, and I swear by it. We homeschool 4 days a week year-round. So year-round homeschooling helps in 2 ways. It means you can do less on any given day. So this is great in terms of time management for you and for your kiddos in terms of stress and energy. It makes it easier to fit homeschooling into your schedule. And it means that kids have time for doing what they enjoy too as well, because they're kids, obviously. They need to have time to do their hobbies and to do what lights them up. And also, let's not forget that learning happens all the time anyway. So I'm just talking about more structured learning. But it also means you get more done, which is weird, I know, right? But the reason why is because you prevent wasting time or those dreaded holiday slides that can be really hard work to come back from. So your kids remain in the flow of learning, which makes it much easier to maintain. And because it's not too much every day, it is manageable for them. So year-round homeschooling is easy to move into, and you'll be able to easily move into it when your kids are actually engaged and enjoying learning. And you can also convince them by telling them they'll have less to do every day. That's a win for them, definitely. So my final thoughts are falling behind in homeschool. I know it's easy for me to say, forget about falling behind in homeschool. I've been a working homeschool mom since 2017, so I've got a lot of confidence about what I'm doing. But I hope that this episode will set your mind at ease a little bit, because you will also build confidence in what you're doing. It'll come when you see how effective homeschooling can be. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take a deep breath. Take that first step forward, because this is how all effective change happens. And know that you've got everything you need to have a happy and thriving homeschool. Obviously, if you ever need any help, then be sure to join the WHM Collective. We talk a lot about de-schooling, or you can also book in a coaching session with me. I'm here to help you to build your homeschooling confidence. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Please let me know what your greatest takeaway was. You can reach out to me on Instagram at charlottejones247 or on my website at mylittlehomeschool.com, or you could even drop me an email at hello@mylittlehomeschool.com. I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It will help spread the news about being a working homeschool mom, and in that way we can build this wonderful supportive community together. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care.